So the title of this video is kind of clickbait. I didn't actually join the GBA. I joined the GBA Community Kickoff Tour, which is kind of counts. Not really. Sure, we'll say it does. It kind of counts. So this is my first pools match. I'm playing against legonene. And you see my team on the screen. You see his team on the screen. You know what these mons are, hopefully, unless you haven't played Gen 9, in which case you might not know what three of these mons are. So, maybe four, maybe the Hisuian Samurott. Let's just get into it. So here, I decide he has no ground type. He didn't have a ground type in his pool of 8. So I'm just gonna lead off with Specs Electrode, and it's gonna click Volt Switch. So Electrode comes out. Slow is way too slow, holy shit. He leads Lycanroc. Here, I mean, the plan is very simple. Just click Volt Switch. I Volt Switch, hit the 71, and here, I'm not sure what the Lycanroc wants to do. It might just want to click Rocks, it might want to click like Stone Edge. I decide I'm just gonna go into Scizor and see what he wants to do. And he sets up Rocks, and here, I figured he would probably switch it or form, but I didn't want to just rip out the CC immediately on turn 2. I just go for the pretty safe U-turn. I get a crit, does 26, whatever. I go back into Electrode, and I'm threatening another Specs Volt Switch. He goes Rotom Frost to take this Volt Switch. I go back into Scizor because I don't really know what else I want to do against this Rotom. Like, I don't want to go Hisuian Samurott, because then I kind of just make the Scarf way too obvious, because I was Scarfed Hisuian Samurott for this. Because, I mean, there's a Dragapult on the other side. And then I want to go Volcarona immediately, because I didn't want it to, like, I don't know, T-Wave me, or, like, Scarf Trick on my Quiver Dance. And plus, it's just way too early to set up with Volcarona, really. Like, not, like this thing can just win, but not turn 3. It's a bit too early, right? Cyclosaur, no way I'm switching that into a Blizzard. Well, a thing that can click Blizzard, right? If it's Scarf, which it could be, Scarf Blizzard's gonna hurt. So I decide, let's just go back into Scizor. And here, I thought about what to do. I thought about I could Bullet Punch. I don't know how much bulk investment this Rotom has, but if it has very little, the Bullet Punch has a chance to kill. I figured he could just go back into Ore form, and um, I don't really, I wasn't really sure what he wanted to do. He could go even Klefki for some reason. I don't know. I decided let's just rip out the CC now, and unfortunately for me, he Will-O-Wisps me, and well, the Scizor's kinda not that good now because it is burned. But the CC does kill the Rotom, even through the burn, because, I mean, Choice Band is super effective. Rotom's not. I mean, it's not frail, but it's not super bulky. The Dragapult comes in. He knows I'm Choice Band. He knows that I'm locked in a CC. And I'm really worried that he's gonna, like, Dragon Dance here. I just go into Sylveon because it's really all I have for this Bolt. And he just U-turns out here. And he goes into Ore form. And, well, okay, I know he has U-turn, which means he's definitely not a Dragon Dance set. Because I mean, Dragon Dance U-turn is the new meta, boys. You heard it here first. With Ore form, I decide to just go into Scizor because really it's kind of worthless at this point. He just goes for a Heavy Slam. He sets up a Spike here. I decide to just U-turn out. I go into Electrode. And assuming he's like max HP, max def, like a Volt Switch has a really good chance of like just killing the Ore form from this range. But he preserves the Ore form, goes into Dragapult, and takes 18 from Volt Switch. And here, I had to think for a fair amount. And the conclusion I came to was that it has U-turn, right? It's not gonna set up on me. But it took 18. The conclusion I reached was that it is Assault Vest for the Volcarona. And here I decide to just go into Sylveon because it's pretty much the only thing I have that beats this Bolt. I mean, other than Scarf Hisui and Samurott, but I'm not about to just go Scarf Hisui and Samurott. That's a bit too obvious, and he can always just Terra out of the dark weakness. But he just U-turns again, and I hyper voice the incoming Klefki. Takes 25 with good chip because Klefki does not have reliable recovery. And here I decide again, let's just sack the Scizor because it doesn't do anything anymore. Sets up a light screen. He goes Orform on my Scizor, and I get a defog off because I mean I didn't really know what to do with my fourth move. Scizor's lost a lot of moves in Gen 9 and lost Roost and lost Knockoff. I just threw on defog because if I really had no idea what to do with the fourth move, I figured if anything's gonna be a useful fourth move, it's gonna be defog, especially against a Klefki or Form team. And well, here's the defog. It got rid of the screens as well, got rid of the hazards. Very nice. And here I go into Cyclizar expecting, I don't know, he could just set up another spike. But instead, he just goes for body press and does 88%, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. And here, I decide that the best course of action would be to just sack the Cyclizar and get a knockoff on this thing to just get rid of its item. Because it hasn't revealed it so far, and I just want it gone. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. I want it gone. And instead, he just goes into Quaquaval, and I knock off the Roselli Berry, which is huge. Now I know it's not a Rindo Berry for like Volcarona Giga Drain. Speaking of grass moves, I decide I'm sacking the Cyclizar anyways. I'm just gonna Power Whip, and Power Whip does a fuck ton. And he just goes for Aqua Step, kills my Cyclizar, gets a speed boost, gets a Moxie boost, but I'm a physically defensive Sylveon. The Sylveon lives in Aqua Step. Thankfully, no crit. If he crit me there, I'm pretty sure I just lost. I don't think Burned Scizor did 13 with Bullet Punch. Maybe. I'm not sure. It would also depend heavily on how much bulk investment he had. And if he had like Roost as well, like that would just be GG. But thankfully, no crit. More form comes in. I decide I'm just gonna sack the Sylveon. I clicked Wish here. And I figured, all right, I'm just gonna click Wish. If he wants to get up a hazard, a spike, I'm just gonna Wish Protect. I'm gonna heal myself back up. Um, I'm gonna be healthy to check this bolt again. But he just goes for Heavy Slam here, which fine by me. I go into Electrode again to fire off a Volt Switch. I knew that the Bolt was probably AV at this point, so and even if he like switched into Bolt, my plan was to just go Hisuian Samurott and click just get some knockoffs going. Even if he went like Klefki, I could knock off the Light Clay, which would be decent. Or I could click Ceaseless Edge. That would make some Spike would be really good. But he goes Orform. I decide let's just sack Scizor because I mean it's burn, it's at like 19%. But he goes for Heavy Slam. He lives the Heavy Slam and burn. And here he goes for Rest. He reveals the fourth move. And he is not Chesto Berry. I U-turn out. And I go into Volcarona. Because this thing's asleep. It doesn't have Sleep Talk. It doesn't have a Chesto Berry. It doesn't have rock coverage. I can just Quiver Dance for free. And that's exactly what I do. I Quiver Dance for free. He goes Dragapult. And here, very interesting turn. I have to consider a lot of things. I don't have speed investment on this Volcarona. I am just max HP. So this Bolt probably outspeeds me, even though I am +1. So I thought a lot about a lot of different things here. I thought about like, should I Terra? Should I not Terra? I mean, if I want to attack the Bolt, I have to Terra because it's Fiery Dance Giga Drain is resisted on the Bolt. So if I want to attack, I do have to Terra. But if I want to Quiver Dance again, which I considered, do I Quiver Dance again? Do I Terra if I Quiver Dance again? Do I stay as a. Do I not Terra? And I also considered what he could Terra into. I considered like Ghost. I considered like Fairy. I considered um I think fire would be pretty decent because it resists Volcarona dual stab, it resists hyper voice, and it resists bullet punch. That wouldn't be terrible, I think. Um, I decide, fuck it, Weeball. I'm gonna Terra, I'm gonna click Terra Blast, and I'm gonna pray. And I'm Terra Ground because it hits the because Klefki has T Prankster T Wave, and I figured Terra Ground is better than Terra Dark because the Pult is gonna Terra out of its Dark weakness anyway. So I figured Terra Blast Ground would be more likely to hit Pult for like neutral coverage as opposed to Terra Dark. Because I figured Terra Fairy might be pretty likely. Even though it is weak to Bullet Punch, I mean he has like an Earth form. He has enough counterplay to Bullet Punch anyway. Like it's not the end of the world if he Terra Fairies. But here, he just Terra Steals directly into my Terra Blast. And his own Terra Blast is less than half, and mine just kills because it's super effective. And from here, the game is just over, and Volcarona decides to just flex and gets a crit on the Klefki through light screen. It gets a crit on the Orform, not that it matters, but it was funny. And it's just over. Fiery Dance gets a kill on the Orform, and Giga Drain's gonna get a kill on the Lycanroc. And that is it. This is why Volcarona's banned from OU, because this one is kind of absurd. Um, so this was my first match of pools, and off to a pretty good start. Now, I'd say I played pretty all right. I managed to position the Volcarona pretty well. I managed to, I just outplayed them with the Terra, and yeah, I don't really have that much to say. It was just a solid, clean game.